Hi, my name is Colin McCrillis, and today I'm going to be talking to you about how bioremediation works and why it's an important process for the future of sustainable ecological systems. Bioremediation is the use of organisms to break down or neutralize hazardous wastes. There are many different types of bioremediation processes to deal with the varying hazardous wastes and mediums. The three main bioremediation processes are phytoremediation, bioaugmentation, and biostimulation. Each process works in its own way. Phytoremediation is the use of plants to break down hazardous wastes in soil and water. Phytoextraction is one such technique of phytoremediation. It works to eliminate heavy metals from soil. Plants act as hyperaccumulators and uptake the waste, and can even act as permanent accumulators once planted. Phytoextraction does have limitations, however. It can only accumulate waste at a limited soil depth, and the amount of viable hyperaccumulators is low. However, extensive research is going into this area. The cost of phytoextraction can be very expensive, about $100,000 per every acre. Phytostimulation is another technique used for phytoremediation. Phytostimulation is biodegradation that takes place due to an increase in nutrients in the rhizosphere caused by the excrement in the plant roots. Bioaugmentation is the process of adding specifically genetically engineered microbial organisms to areas containing hazardous waste. Biodegradation is the main technique of bioaugmentation. Usually bacteria and fungi are used in the biodegradation process. They can be used to clean up hydrocarbons such that would be found in oil spills. This has become a highly important process for this reason. Biodegradation can also be used in municipal water treatment plants to treat our water. The process of biodegradation can, however, become very expensive over large areas. Biostimulation is the third main bioremediation process. It is the use of adding nutrients such as nitrogen, phosphorus, and oxygen to native microbial populations in soil and groundwater. Biostimulation promotes growth for the organism, protects it from disease, and increases the uptake of nutrients as well as many other positive effects. Bioventing is one of these techniques. Oxygen is added to the native microbial population, increasing in situ biodegradation. This process can be applied to any chemical that can be aerobically biodegraded. Bioventing is a relatively cheap process of biostimulation, which is more and more common nowadays. Bioventing does have a few limitations, however. Its applicability as well as its effectiveness can be affected by soils with low permeability, which would constrict airflow. It can also decrease the moisture content, which affects the biodegradation process. There are many difficulties to bioremediation. One of these difficulties is that it can be hard to efficiently bioremediate an uncontrolled area. One way in which we can limit this variability is by using a bioreactor. Bioreactors allow for controlled environments and methods, increasing the efficiency of the bioremediation. There are two types of bioreactors: compost-based reactors and slurry-based reactors. Compost-based reactors use microbial organisms at elevated temperatures to increase efficiency and biodegradation. Slurry-based reactors use a mixture of the water and the soil to increase efficiency. Both increase efficiency of the biodegradation process. The limitations of the bioreactors mainly come down to cost. Costs average around $200 per yard. However, their use has increased in the recent past due to the need for bioremediation efforts. I would like to recap by pointing out again how useful bioremediation is. In our planet, where there is an increase in the need to remove hazardous waste from our ecosystems, we need to become more and more aware of the different ways of restoring the ecosystems. As I have stated already, there are many different techniques of bioremediation to deal with different forms of hazardous waste in different mediums. the use of plants or microbial organisms to remove things such as heavy metals from water or soil, or the use of microbial bacteria that eat hydrocarbons from water. One thing is for sure, bioremediation is a young technology that will become more and more useful as time goes on. I'm Colin McCrillis, and I thank you for listening to my presentation.